Givehand of Givehand Creative, and I'm coming to you to talk about an amazing collaboration that I'm doing with two wonderful women, Grace Howes of Red Barn Studio and Ho Brown of thecreativeboost.blogspot.com. So the three of us have been kind of talking about a bunch of different things, but in that conversation, talking about business and art and creativity, beauty, all sorts of things, we decided that we would do a collaboration. So I talk a lot about, most of my videos, if you've been following my channel, have been me showing you my creative journey with book in a day. And I started that in 2013 as a personal challenge to myself, just to sort of, in my 40th year of life on this planet, to kind of give myself a creative boost, which is kind of how Ho and I connected. And then the bookmaking is kind of how Grace and I connected, because Grace makes handmade, hand-bound Coptic journal journals, and they are amazing, exquisite. She is, I thought that I tried to do really good. Her work is impeccable. It is awesome. And so she has a whole thing that she's doing this year to kind of push herself creatively, and Ho works with a lot of people trying to help them boost their creativity. She does a lot around just sort of female image and how to feel good about yourself. She has a program called Walk in Beauty, and so we all just thought we'd get together and do this collaboration this year. And it consists of videos, a video series, but also blogs and thematic sort of conversations that the three of us will be having, and we hope that you will join in with us. So one of the things to kind of kick this off is we're each talking about how we plan. So this year I'm bringing a lot of focus to my creative practice by sharing with folks how I stay creative, but at the same time how I stay focused. I run multiple businesses. I have clients who I help with running their creative businesses, and so I have a lot of pieces that are moving and that I'm juggling. And so how people ask me all the time, how do I stay organized? How do I plan it all? How do I keep it all straight? How do I show up in the right time zone for the right event? Virtually, I do a lot of work that is online, and then how do I maintain my creative practice through all of that? So if you've been following me, you know that in 2013 I did one book every week for 52 weeks, and it was amazing. It stretched me and pushed me beyond all my creative limits. It really gave me some insight into who I am as a creative, as an artist, as a woman, as a wife, as an auntie / mama. All the different things all the different hats that I wear, it really helped me see how the creative artist hat was getting pushed to the back of the closet a lot, so that all these other things could be done in my life, but how I was suffering inside by doing that. So I had to find a balance, and I had to find a way to bring my creativity to the forefront. So that was my 2013 challenge, and it carried over into 2014 by me doing one book each month. And that was amazing as well, because coming off of a weekly challenge into a monthly challenge, there were weeks where I was like, oh, I'm not doing a video this week. What shall I do? And I found myself almost craving the weekly challenge and needing it to fuel myself, which is why I did a monthly challenge instead, because I wanted to prove to myself that I could show up even when there wasn't a camera on, even when there was no one expecting or waiting for anything, which is really important, to be able to just make art because you want to make art, or forget art, creativity, whatever your creative practice is. If you are an amazing cook and that is your creative way, sometimes you just should cook for yourself, no one else around. Don't always do your creative outlet or your creative practice just because someone else is expecting it. So cook yourself a meal sometimes. If everybody else has gone away and that's your creative outlet, make yourself the best meal you've ever made. If your creative process is the way you do your hair, or how you paint your nails, or if you're a guy and you're watching this, if your creative way is how you cut the lawn, or how you cook, or how you grill, or how you groom your beard and mustache, whatever it is, whatever your creative practice is, you have to show up for that thing, whether anyone else is expecting you to or not. And that was what my 2014 challenge was about. It was about taking away the weekly camera, coming on camera, oh, people are expecting me to stick to this challenge sort of pressure, and just showing up to my art space on a day-to-day, weekly basis for myself. And so I feel like I did a really good job with that this year. I could have done a little better, but I'm proud of what I did for 2014. I was able to really stretch myself. Even more than I think I was stretched for the 2013 challenge. So, with all of that said, this is sort of my first video talking about my planner setup and how I keep myself organized, because I do a lot of different things, and I try to keep have a life outside of working and doing videos and making art. I also, like to walk and hike. I like to go to the beach. I love the beach. I love the water. I have lots of other interests and things that I like to do that don't involve me being in front of a camera and being in front of a computer all day. And so being able to balance those things and make sure I get those things in is really important as well. So in 2013 and 2014, a lot of you that are subscribers, thank you so much. I am so honored that you hit that subscribe button and that you followed my journey and that you continue to follow my journey. I hope that something in the videos, in my rambling, somehow touches you and sparks something in you so that you too can find your creative practice and the thing that makes you come alive in the world. So a lot of people were sending me emails asking me things about my productivity, asking me how do I keep what kind of planner system do I use, and I never knew that this was something other people cared about. Like why would anyone care what my planner looks like and how I stay organized? Some days I think I'm like the most chaotic and frantic person. My desk is a mess, my art space is a mess, everything's a mess, and I oftentimes feel like I'm kind of spinning out of control some days, but then I happen to always get done what I need to get done. It's kind of amazing. And then I look and I'm like, oh, I guess I actually do have a system. It's just kind of a crazy system. So I'm happy to share it, and that's what I'm here to kind of talk about today and give you a little bit of inside peek of what my sort of personal planning and organization system looks like. And I will warn you, it's crazy. It's kind of insane. My life is kind of insane in terms of all the pieces, moving pieces that I juggle and try to keep straight. As my mother would say, you got a lot of balls in the air, lady. So that's kind of how my life is. And so Grace and Ho'o and I are sharing our planner setups for the year because, Grace runs a business. She's a mama and a wife, and she has her stuff going on, and Ho'o is a mama and a wife, and she runs multiple businesses and dance classes and lots of other things. And so we all have a different sort of lifestyles, but we all have a system that we use to keep ourselves organized and to make sure that we are taking care of our people, taking care of ourselves, and taking care of our businesses and our clients. So without further ado, today on this video I'm just gonna show you all the different planners and notebooks that I use and tell you what they're for, and then I'll do separate videos for each one showing you my actual setup, because I'm noticing that folks like that, which again I thought was like a weird thing, like why do people care? Then I came across, and I kept thinking, but why would anyone want to know my stuff? Why? And then I watched a YouTube video, and I'll link to it, by Carrie Harling. Dispatches from the Frat House is her YouTube channel, and I'll link to that. She did a video series, or is doing a video series, I think, called Why Not? And I came across that because I was looking for, are other people doing planner videos? And then I fell into this rabbit hole that is YouTube, and OMG, that's all I have to say. There's so many videos out there. So I, of course, was like, why would I do another video? Why do I need to do that? Then I saw Carrie's video, and it was, what's your why not? And that was my why not. Why not do a video? Why not share with people how I keep this crazy, insane life of mine organized to some degree, and how do I keep it all together? How do I manage multiple businesses, multiple websites, multiple blogs, multiple clients, and at the same time still have quality time with my family, with my husband, still do the things that I love to do, hang out with my girlfriends, make art, make books, volunteer at schools and teach kids how to make books. How do I still make sure I get all of the things in that feed my soul while still doing the things that I have to do to feed my body, like to make money to eat, right? So that's what this is. All right, here we go. So the very first thing is I always try to have something near me when I'm working that is that is a creative space and a creative outlet. I have a fairly older computer, and while I love it and it has gotten me through some craziness, it's old. And so I will hit a button or click on something and the wheel will just spin and spin and spin. And I am one of those people, when I'm in productive time, I need to be productive. I can't just be sitting waiting on a wheel to spin on my computer. It's insane. So I always have this little notebook with me. It used to be just one little like fill note size notebook that I would have sitting next to me. Then I made this for the 2013 book in a day. I don't remember what number it is, but I'll link to the video below. But this was like my Fauxdoris, Midori style notebook that I created using vinyl and some fabric that I got from like Joann's. So now it has multiple notebooks in it, and it is really my little desk creativity packet. And I'm gonna do a walkthrough a walkthrough of the way I have this set up. And this actually stays in two places only. It stays on my desk, and then sometimes I'll take it out to the couch if we're gonna watch a movie, because the way my brain is such that it never really stops working. And so this is a way for me to actually unwind and allow myself to watch a movie while keeping my hands busy. So I doodle. I have a little notebook that's just for doodling. I have one that's watercolor. I have one in here that, so I'll show you the setup on a different video, but this is my little creative baby. Stays with me, keeps me sane while I'm working, and I'm getting that spinning color wheel on my computer all the time. So that's the first one. The second one is also a Midori style notebook. This is a Cheek Sparrow. Jennifer Harvey is the person who makes these, and she is Cheek Sparrow on Etsy. I'll link to all of her stuff. I think she just opened a new website where you can buy her stuff from her website, so I don't know what's happening with her Etsy store, but I'll link to all of the stuff. And then there's like a special little Facebook group for folks who own her notebooks and all that, so I will link to that stuff below. But this notebook has all of my writing creativity stuff in it, and this book pretty much travels in my purse if I'm leaving the house. Sometimes I just take it without a purse, and it, purse, notebook, pen is inside, keys, and cell phone, right? And it'll just be my little notebook for that. So it has it has 5 notebooks in it, and I'll again walk through a setup of that and tell you what all they are. But mostly they are for writing, and it has like a brain dump notebook in it, and then a couple of other notebooks for text and writing kind of stuff that I do. So it pretty much is wherever I am. It's at my desk sometimes, in my purse, if I go out, in the car with me so yeah, this one travels with me. The first one I showed you it rarely leaves the house. But if I'm going away, like for a trip, I take this creative one with me because I like to grab bits and pieces from places where I am traveling. Alright, the next one is also a Midori style notebook, and this one is the traditional Midori by Midori. This is an actual Midori notebook, not a Fauxdoris and not a Midori style, but an actual Midori. And this one pretty much stays in my office space because it holds like what I call my reference book. What's an example of something I have in my reference book? So I have samples of all my washi tape in there. I have all of like the numerical codes, what I call hex codes for CSS and HTML stuff for my websites and blogs and stuff like that. So it has reference lists. It has a brain dump notebook in it, and one other thing I can't remember, something that I was doing, a monthly challenge, art challenge that I was doing is still in here from I think December. So this notebook pretty much stays in my office space. I rarely take it out. Sometimes I will switch out and put another notebook in it but for the most part, this is like my reference notebook. It has some notes and documents, and not documents, but like notes and stuff about stuff around the house, the name of the plumber, you know, stuff like that. So it's got that kind of stuff in it. Then we get to the stuff that's more like the business and the sort of how do I keep all of the projects and things that I'm working on. So I have, and they too, I'll just stay with the Midoris. So I have 2 additional Midori. So if you haven't figured out the theme and the trend here, I kind of am in love and addicted to Midori notebooks. Just to be transparent, hello, my name is Kiala. I'm addicted to Midori notebooks. There you have it. So this one is by Danielle Matthews. She is Kenjack Designs. Oh, right here. Kenjack Designs on Etsy. She's Danny Matthews, but I think she's something else on Instagram, so I have to tell you what that is. But this is my metallic purple. I love this thing so much. It rarely leaves the house. I think it maybe has left the house once. But it might travel with me in the future. I don't know yet. But right now, it is housing it's housing some creative visioning stuff around my business and my personal life. So this is purple is like my color for personal, because I color code everything. So I have a lot of personal stuff in here that is like creative and business, future projects I want to work on, things I'm thinking about, nothing that is like imminent and right now. So that's why it really kind of stays around the house. It doesn't travel with me much, but I love it so much. This is one of my faves. I just like how substantial it is. Okay, so I have a whole unboxing video. You can watch that. And then I'll do a setup video. Then, the last and final Midori for now, because I'm working on getting another one. This is my Jonelli Fish mermaid with a pop of color, purple, on the inside. So those of you who've been following and like really truly following me and subscribing and paying attention to the journey, you will know that in 2013, orange was my color. It was showing up all over the place. So that is like my next acquisition for Midori. I'm trying to find someone who can make me an orange Midori style notebook. That is like going to be, that's like the pinnacle. That'll be when I have reached that moment where I'm like, planner piece. When I get an orange Midori style notebook. So I'm working on it. If you know someone out there who makes orange, let me know. So this one by Jonelli Fish, I think she goes by. This one has work and business stuff in it. This is my work Midori. So I have things like, I have a notebook in here that's just for my client notes. So when I have calls with my clients, and I'm saying clients and people are like, what are you, a doctor? What do you have? I do creative business strategy for folks, so people who want to take their business and grow their online presence, who want to launch products, create e-courses, who want to create virtual coaching programs. So I work a lot with people who are life coaches, business coaches. I work with healers, yoga instructors, people who are doing work, creative work, artists, writers, photographers, people like that who are makers and doers, people who have Etsy shops, people who are trying to expand their creative business. So I do creative business strategy for them. So when I say clients, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not a doctor. I'm not seeing patients in that way. I'm not a lawyer who sees clients, not that kind of thing. So this has my creative strategy business stuff in it. Client notes are in here. And then I have one notebook that stays in here that is for future plans, like future projects that I'm working on that are not in 2014. What are we, 2015? That are not. So there are some 2015 ones in here, but I was working on them in 2014, if that makes any sense at all to you. So future planning of projects. So the projects I'm thinking about now that I know won't actually launch and exist until 2016 are being kept in here. So these are all my notes for business stuff, client work, and my sort of creative visioning for my business specifically. Creative visioning for my personal life is in here. So because at some point you got to keep your business and your personal separate, or at least I do, or I will go crazy. And so then, before I fell in love with Midori, I was totally in love with, and still am, having a little side thing with the Discbound Lavender Circa system. So this is a little bit of a hybrid, because this is a Staples Martha Stewart cover with some beautiful teal and purple discs that I got from Lavender. So it's combined, and this is all my blog stuff. So I curate and run multiple blogs, and so I have to keep myself organized. Now, I will tell you that the making of this video is January 2015, and I still have all my blog stuff in here, but I'm trying to find a way to print these blog inserts that I have into a notebook that I can then put in one of my, ideally, that I can put into my Jonelli Fish Midori style notebook, because I would love to be able to come to have this stuff in here with me. So I gotta figure it out. I haven't found the perfect thing for that yet. So I'll be searching. If you know of something, send me a little note. I would love that. And then last but definitely not least, because this is my Bible, pretty much. And not to offend anyone who has an actual Bible or is of the Christian faith or feels like I'm being disrespectful. That was not intended to be disrespectful. I'm saying this is what keeps me sane. This is sort of much, if it's not written in here, it doesn't happen in my world. So that's why I'm calling it my Bible. So this is my actual planner, and it is a Discbound planner, and that's not going to change, because I'm one of those people who needs to take things out, put things in, add a bunch of stuff. So I have, I'll do a whole setup of this, but I do track monthly, weekly, and daily. And right now, and for the last, I don't know, few months, I've been using DIY fish inserts for my weekly and daily. I'm not sure how I feel about the weekly. I've been trying, I feel like I'm forcing it a little bit with the weekly inserts that she creates. I might need to try a different style of weekly inserts from her. So right now, I'll just show you a blank week that I have not. Does that exist? That may not exist in this notebook. A blank week. But I have the week on 2 pages, and they're going vertically. And so the reason I'm not showing is, like, I have stuff written in here that I probably should, like, cover it with a sticky just to keep some client confidentiality going. So yeah, I don't have a week that has completely, absolutely nothing on it yet. Oh, wait, here's one, because it only has one day of the week, and I didn't put anything in. So this is the one that I have, and you can see that it is the week, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The weeks are going, or the days are going this way, and I like that, and that is working for me. But the time slots are so tight. So yeah, I gotta figure that out. I'll talk about that on the setup video. So this is my planner. It pretty much lives, I have a little space, special space for it right there next to my desk, and the only time it leaves the house is when I'm traveling, like if I'm just going to like a meeting or something, or if I'm going to a meeting outside of the house, which is kind of rare for my business because most of my work is done from home. But if I happen to be going to some sort of meeting or that is outside the house, I take it with me, or if I'm going to be away from home for more than 24 hours, it comes with. Otherwise, it sits over on my desk, on my little stand that I have for it there, and it stays open to the week that I'm working in. And yeah, so it is the thing that keeps me sane and keeps me showing up on time, where I'm supposed to be and when I'm supposed to be there. I use it for future planning, I use it for current day planning, and I use it for tracking. And so I'll talk about the sort of difference in those three when I do the setup. Just the difference that I have created in my mind. It may not be a difference for anyone else, but I use it for all three of those things. So that is my collection of planners and how I use them all and how I keep them straight. And you know, a lot of it again is about color coding. So the reason I had, for instance, had Jonelli Fish create this one in a mermaid is because, I don't know if you can see that, but it has purple and teal, And so those colors sort of, and then it has an orange notebook on the inside. And so the orange is the color of my business. That's like one of my colors on my website and all of that. And then the teal and the purple are sort of colors I use for things that are personal and business related. So it's kind of a combination of those two, which is why I had her do it in this color, and which is why I use this notebook for that stuff. So I do kind of have a system with the notebooks that keeps me straight. Purple, again, for personal, P. I tried to do some alliteration thing there, purple and P. And then I am very much a Capricorn earth sign, so lots of brown in my world all the time. I'm pretty much drawn to brown, and I guess you can guess oranges, right? Orange string, orange pen. So I kind of I'm kind of predictable in that way. So yeah, that's what I got for you for now. And I will be back to talk about each of these separately. I'll do separate videos of them, sort of showing you my setup and how I use them. And hopefully it will be helpful to some of you. The reason that I do this, and I have all of these notebooks, it might seem insane to some people, but it really does help me stay sane. It helps me stay organized, and it allows me to live with intention. Because I'm one of those people, I write down everything. I'm always doodling and drawing on something. And so just sort of having a place to keep that stuff is really important to me. It has become more important to me. The older I get, the longer I live, the more I learn, the more I pay attention to who I am and how I function in the world. So if you're one of those people who's like, I cannot achieve planner peace, maybe you're forcing it. Maybe you're forcing yourself to do what you see everybody else doing. And maybe you should just stop and figure out what works just for you. I've tried a lot of different systems. When I show you my planner setup, my actual planner, I will show you multiple planners because I keep them all. I don't throw my planners away every year. So I'll go back some years and show you. I'm pretty much paper and pen. I didn't mention, but in this notebook, the Cheek Sparrow, I have an Evernote notebook in here, and it is one of those that was specific to Evernote, which I don't even think you have to have anymore. You can, if you have premium Evernote, you can just snap pictures, and I'll talk about Evernote later. But Carrie Harling does an amazing job telling you about Evernote. I've been using it since they came out. I was probably one of the early adopters because I was a teacher, and they did a whole big push with teachers, and I used to use it for my students and blah blah blah. So maybe I'll talk a little bit about that when I do my planner setup, because I do use, or when I do the video for this one, because I do use Evernote for my brain dump to sort of snap those pictures, so that those notes don't just live in here. Because what if I don't have this one with me? Well, I always, pretty much 97% of the time, I always have my cell phone with me. And if I don't have my cell phone, I have my iPad. So the Evernote helps to just keep it all wrangled together. Alright, I think that's it. This video is much longer than I had anticipated, but I hope you watched till the end, because the exciting news that I want to tell you, I don't know if this is exciting, it's exciting to me. The exciting news is that I think what I'm going to be doing for Book in a Day this year is just showing up and making a book whenever. I'm not going to put myself on a schedule this year. I'm not going to say, oh, one a month or one a week or one every whatever. I'm just going to show up, because I actually make books a lot. Even in 2013, when I was doing one book a week, there were some weeks where I was making 2 and 3 different books, because it's kind of my creative practice. If I were going to be going to teach a workshop, I would be working on the book I'm going to teach, so I would be making that book as well. So yeah, I'm just going to make books and video them when I can and pop them up here for you all to see. I have some e-courses coming along. I have some collaborations with some other folks that I'm doing. So hopefully you'll just stay tuned and see what's happening over here at Givehand Creative. Lots of exciting stuff. I hope that I can help you find your creative practice, your creative mojo, whatever you want to call it. I hope that I can empower you, help you feel more empowered about living a more productive life, a life with intention. I'm really big on the living with intention thing, because I totally feel like we are either spectators or we are active participants in our lives. And you're one or the other. And I much rather would be an active participant in my life, or just instead of just like watching my life go by on a screen. So I hope that I can encourage you to do the same. Live with intention. Come alive. Find the thing that makes you feel, you know, like your soul is singing every single day. All right. Whatever you do, go out and create something beautiful today. Bye.